As a Nigerian who usually flies back home to Nigeria for the holidays, usually I would fly with Middle Eastern airlines like Qatar or European airlines like Lufthansa, but today I'm going to be flying with Ethiopian Airlines on their business class from Chicago to Abuja with a 1 hour layover in Addis Ababa. After check-in, I went through TSA and made my way to the Swissport Lounge, which also serves a bunch of other airlines like Qatar, Cathay Pacific, and even Air India. As you can see, the lounge is really nothing to write home about. We have basic drinks, basic snacks, no hot food, just cold sandwiches. However, I did want to mention that if you are a status member with United or are flying business or first class on a Star Alliance member airline, you are more than welcome to hang around at the Polaris Lounge located in Terminal 1. Now, I would only suggest you do this if you have a lengthy amount of time before your flight boards, as getting from Terminal 1 to Terminal 5, where Ethiopian Airlines departs from, is a bit tricky at O'Hare. After spending an hour at the lounge, it was time to board the plane. This was a 13-hour flight from Chicago to Addis Ababa on their Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner, which had their business class in a 1-2-1 configuration. On board the plane, you have a bottled water readily available, and they also give you some fresh towels to clean your hands. You get to choose between some champagne or some juice. It was only 9 a.m. in the morning, so I opted for some juice instead. Now let's get into the amenity kit, which in my opinion is extremely basic. I've gotten much better amenity kits flying premium economy on other airlines. So you get a pair of socks, a comb, a sleeping mask, a dental kit, a lip balm, a pen, and some earplugs. And that's it. Moving on to the seat, you do have a storage compartment which also houses the headset outlet, your USB outlets, the entertainment device, as well as a charging outlet. Then there's me trying to figure out how this device works. I was really struggling there for a second. And the flight attendants came around and brought with them the lunch menu. And because this is a 13-hour flight, we get fed twice, all three-course meals, and we also get some hot canapes for snacking purposes. You also get some drink selections, just one brand of champagne, which was a bit disappointing for me as a bubbly girly. But you also get a variety of wine options, as well as some non-alcoholic beverages, aperitifs, spirits, and beer. Before takeoff, we got some Ethiopian nuts to snack on, as well as a drink of your choice. I opted for some champagne. After takeoff, the meal service began, and for starters, I got some pearl barley salad with baby red and golden beets, beef bresaola, mesclun mix, and some bread. And for my main dish, I got some crispy pan-seared chicken with the side of creamy polenta, some braised mustard greens, and heirloom carrots. I'm just gonna add that this was the toughest chicken I've ever cut in my entire life. But it did taste good though, it did taste good. For dessert, I just kept it light and I had some fruit instead of some cheesecake. I tried some Ethiopian coffee, and if you know me, you know I'm not a coffee person. But the flight attendants were very convincing, and they also brought with them a little cute box of chocolate. After lunch, it was definitely time to indulge in some entertainment, which for me was vibing to Calvin Harris while scrolling through the duty-free magazines looking for things I would love to get when we landed in Ethiopia. After catching up on some screen time, the flight attendants came around with some hot canapes and another glass of champagne. It was officially time to go to bed, so I made my bed using the very limited resources made available, just a pillow and a blanket. And it was lights out for me. I got some pretty decent sleep and woke up just in time for some breakfast, which consisted of some croissants, some strawberry milk, yogurt, cereal, some fruits, some coffee, some water, and then some crepes. Shortly after breakfast, we landed in Addis Ababa, so I made my way to the Cloud9 Lounge. And on getting to the lounge, they had this unique coffee experience where the lady made Ethiopian coffee the traditional way, but from scratch. Now, I was running against time, so I did not get an in-depth video of the lounge. However, it had a decent array of food options and was big enough to hold the traveling passengers. I also quickly stopped by duty free to get some coffee and chocolate for my folks back in Nigeria. Then it was time to board the flight to Abuja. I was flying their Airbus A350-1000, which is one of the newest additions to the Ethiopian Airlines fleet. The business class comes in a 1-2-1 setup, and this aircraft with a total of 395 seats is the world's most dense A350-1000. The business class doesn't have too much space, but the economy seats must be really cramped if that's the case. There is a large touchscreen TV with the latest software, making searching for movies much easier and more convenient. Then there's a USB port and a tray table just below it. Most seats have a window, and this is one of the few A350s with dimmable windows, ranging from slightly dim to very dim and then complete blackout. You also get a storage compartment, which includes a TV remote just in case you'd rather sit back and control the TV versus using the touchscreen. You also have a decent sized mirror, which is perfect for getting your makeup done before landing, as well as a charging outlet for plugging your phones and other devices. If you need more privacy, you can definitely slide this partition, but this is only possible if you get an even numbered sit like I did. I sat at seat 10A. Moving on to the amenity kit, I was lucky to snag their newer amenity kit, which had the same basic content as their old amenity kit. However, it was in a different color, red. It had a comb, some eye masks, a pair of socks, earplugs, dental kits, lip balm, and a pen. Before takeoff, the flight attendants came around with a lunch menu. Now, this was only a 4-hour flight to Abuja, so we got fed just once. Shortly after takeoff, the meal service began, and for starters, I had the seared herb-crusted tuna steaks with black olives, lemon wedge, paired with a glass of rosé. Before the main dish, the flight attendant suggested trying their local Ethiopian dish of spicy chicken stew, injera, some lentils, and sautéed kale. As a Niger babe, I had to identify with the African in me by using my hands to devour this meal. And as you can tell from my facial expression, I was in food heaven. Definitely a solid 9 out of 10. For the main course, I decided to go with the beef dish instead, which I didn't really like, so I just opted to get dessert at that point and opted for some fruit instead of some cheesecake. I once again indulged in some entertainment, which for me was listening to Vivaldi's Four Seasons musical piece. I also had a fun time recreating a mini wine tasting experience, and after all that drinking, I started to feel dizzy, so I decided to take a nap before landing in Nigeria. Now, if you are a foreigner or a native flying to Nigeria for whatever reason, I highly suggest flying through Abuja for a more seamless experience at the airport. Trust me, you would thank me later. If you enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. You can also follow me on Instagram or TikTok at Vanessa Uso for more vlogs about my Dirty December experience in Nigeria. Bye guys, and stay tuned for my next vlog.